Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Restored Motion, restoredmotions.com, and ProCharge EV, prochargeev.com. All right, y'all. Tigers win. LSU, a 62-0 winner over Army. A lot of guys got work last night. It was essentially the exact way you had hoped that game would transpire. LSU got up early. They were in rhythm early. They led big at half. And essentially all of your starters, except Jaden Daniels, played one possession of the second half, and then it was empty the bench time. And so a lot of guys got work. A lot of guys got to have some success on the field, which is really good. And you had the opportunity to get some guys healthy. So no Emory Jones, no Makai Wingo. It was good to be able to let those guys sit and rest. You got Chris Hilton back, and he made some plays, which is very nice to see. You did lose Zy Alexander, ankle injury on the last play of the first half. He made an interception, and instead of just going down, tried to return the interception on the tackle, injured his ankle. So your best cover corner in a secondary that struggled to cover this year, injured right before on the last play of the first half. So I was told afterwards, I think Brian Kelly said it's like a lower body injury. I was told after ankle, he left on crutches. So we shall see. You get a week off, the open date, and then you've got the Bama game. So how much treatment can he get over the next week plus to see if he'll be good to go in 13 days. So all right. Y'all smash that like button, subscribe up to the channel. You know the drill. Facebook, please like the Matt Scone page, share the post. We appreciate y'all for being here. Speaking of being here, Got Lit Lights is here at the Scone House. They were here at 7:45, bright and early, man. So Got Lit is currently, you may hear some stomping around on the roof here during the show today because Got Lit, it's like it's funny. They got a big extension ladder right there outside the way. I mean, they're literally the wind. I mean, I can show you. Hang on YouTube. Like you can see. Can you see the ladder right here? I mean, they're right here. So you may hear some stomping around up on the roof, but they're awesome. Got Lit Lights. Our neighbors are walking by and they're looking like, "What do y'all do?" Got Lit Lights. GotLitLights.com. It's actually that's probably really good. It's going to be really good advertising if they had like signage and trucks and stuff like that for all the people going by. Anyway, on Christmas lights, Higher Got Lit. They're awesome. I mean, they were here. They said we'd be here at 8. They're here at 7:45. I woke up a little after 8. I was like, let's go. The Griswolds. All right, let's see. Let's say good morning, y'all. Y'all know the drill. Fire away questions, comments. Glad to have you all here. Tigers win 62-0 over Army. Jaden Daniels, another great day. All in one half. You'd have loved to have seen him stat compile a little more. He did put up 4 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 3 passing. So, he's in a Heisman race, right? So, you would love to see him be able to stuff the stat sheet a little more, but I understand. You have bigger fish to fry. It's, 38-0 at half. So the issue is no longer in doubt. He threw for 3 touchdowns and ran for a 4th. He threw for 279 on 11 completions, 11 of 15 for 279 in the first half. So yeah, I would love to have seen him get the yardage up a little more, but what it is. So okay. All right, let's say some good mornings and see what y'all got as always. Hey, Matt Lusto, Brad David, Leon Williams, good morning. Wendell Norman, Donovan Peterson, good morning. Chris P, Leon, I know it was Army, but that was impressive. I mean, obviously the offense just out athleted Army. Maybe at the end of the game, with your second offensive line and Trey Holly, who is a freshman, you know, you went Diggs, Caleb Jackson, John Emery, Noah Kane, and then Trey Holly. I mean, you had your fifth running back in there, and your fifth running back was your leading rusher. He busted a 67-yarder. So, yeah, I mean, your offense just outmatched him. I think what was really impressive is defensively the effort that LSU gave. You had just two penalties in the whole game. You had a false start on Lance Hurd, and you had you did have offsetting penalties when on Finucane and Harold Perkins, but you had a false start on Lance Hurd and a false start on Mac Markway. I mean, two penalties for 10 yards in the whole game, so it moved pretty quickly. Brad, David, do you think Pittman makes it to the end of the season? Brad, I do, and the thing about Sam Pittman is they gave him a contract extension. His contract, they gave him a contract in the spring of 22, so this is only the second year of his new extension. So they went 9-4 that year in 2021, and so they extended him before 2022. So in any event, I mean, he got a 5-year extension. So let's see. It would cost. Let me see if I can see this number here. He's got $20 million over the next 4 bonuses. He's due 75% of the total if he's fired. And it's also with his overall record. So actually, oh my goodness, it actually behooves them if he loses. So if his overall record is better than 500, they'd owe him 75% of a $22 million buyout. If it's below 500, they'd owe him 50% of a $22 million buyout, which would be $11 million. So that actually, and I think his overall record at Arkansas is under. It's under 500 now. Hang on, I think his overall record at Arkansas is 21-23. So yeah, man. This little losing skid. Let's see what else they have the rest of the way. Let's see. BYU was so. They do have a game against FIU, but they've got, let's see, they're at Florida, so they're off this week, and they're at Florida, home against Auburn. They play FIU, and then they're home against Missouri. So basically, they got to be he's got to win 3 of the next 4. And I don't know that that's going to happen. Florida, Auburn, FIU, and Missouri. Yeah, he'll probably get fired. Yeah. Let's see. Spectrum Well Cares. Alexander injury update. Yeah, just what I said at the beginning. Ankle. He left on crutches, so don't have anything beyond that. Ankle, and he left on crutches. Jacob Thompson. Good morning, Matt. Still laughing my butt off from T-Bob calling me what he called me last night. For Whiskey and Wine. My fiance. She's not letting me live this down, especially when T-Bob called her. That was for someone who was as inebriated as he was very quick on his feet with that one. That was actually really good. Larry Gardner, what's going on? Zachary Hardy, good morning, Matt. My goodness, Holly has some wheels. Looks like another Clyde running out there. Yeah, the running back position is in good hands. Logan Diggs could very well go pro after this year. John Emery's out of eligibility after this year, as is Noah Kane. So then, actually, Kane could probably use his COVID year. Let's see. Did he redshirt? redshirt because he was the same class as Emory. So he's 19, 20. No, so he could use the COVID year. Yeah, no, so Noah Kane could absolutely use the COVID year. He could come back for another year. I don't know that he will, but he could. But then you got Caleb Jackson, Trey Holly. So you're in good hands at running back for sure. Craig Duga, Ben Dupuy, Ryan Amanda Guidry, what's up? Mark Vitanovich, is Derek Carr worth $150 million? No, of course not. If you have to ask that question, I think you know the answer. Denny Landry, Mortimer from the camp in the Spillway, go Tigers. Patrick Berglass, go Tigers. Excited for 2 Saturdays from now. College football at its finest. LSU offense is the best Bama will face all season next to Texas. Yeah, I would say LSU's offense is better than Texas's offense. Jaden's certainly having a better year statistically than... Oh, man. So last night, sorry, just real quick, let me interrupt myself. I was better than Quinn Ewers, but so Michael Penix still leads the nation in passing by 3 yards. Penix is at 25.76, Jaden's at 25.73. But offensively, total yards per game, Oregon number 1, LSU number 2. Georgia number 3, how about that? Texas is at 468 a game. LSU's at 552 a game. So LSU's averaging nearly 100 yards better per game than is Texas. So yeah, this will be the best offense Bama faces all year by far. Let's see, Mark's asking about Jaden's Heisman race. It's un-American to not let Army score at least a field goal. What do you do? Like, you just let them go down the field? I mean, Troy shut out Army last week. What are you talking about? Troy beat them 19-0. I mean, Army's offense is challenged right now. They started a true freshman quarterback. They're running a new offense. They're outmanned. It's not a great situation. Let me see Heisman odds if they've changed at all. Let's see. Heisman odds after last night. I mean, Caleb Williams losing essentially guarantees you won't have a repeat Heisman winner. Jaden is actually up now to plus 600. Jaden Daniels has the 3rd best Heisman odds. How about that? J.J. McCarthy now has the best odds at plus 180. Michael Penix, number 2, at plus 300. Jaden Daniels at plus 600. You know, if you were going to bet the Heisman, you should have got it after the Ole Miss loss when Jaden's odds were in the plus 2,000 range. That's where you might have had value, but you don't have much value now. I mean, it's plus 600 is still good value for if he wins it, but it's not anything like what you could have gotten a couple weeks ago. But yeah, so Jaden's Heisman odds did improve after last night. Breezy Bro, what up? Chad Brown, what's going on? Let's see, your man Scott killed it last weekend. Oh, Scott Barnes, Hudco. Yes. Oh, cool. Thank you, man. Yeah, there was a what was the event called, Chad? Was it called Trunk or Treat? Is that right? It was. They did a. There was an event in Ascension. For special needs kiddos, and the crowd shots were pretty incredible. There were a ton of people there, and Scott Barnes, who works with us at Hudco, was out there, I guess, kind of helping organize, run it. He had the Hudco trailer out there, and they had some some drone shots of the crowd shot. It was incredible. So great thing to do. Thank you, Chad, very much, man. Thank you. Stephen Young, good morning. Barry Day, Patrick Berglash, Jaden should lead all Heisman odds after Penix stank last night. So that's the other one that dropped is Dylan Gabriel. So after Oklahoma's close call, Dylan Gabriel dropped well, I guess he didn't drop. He stayed where it was. Jaden leapfrogged Jordan Travis and Dylan Gabriel is basically what happened. McCarthy moved to 1, Penix fell to 2, and then Jaden jumped from 5 to 3. I think everybody sees it, man, that the LSU offense is real, and if they're certainly capable of going to Tuscaloosa and winning, and if they go to Tuscaloosa and win, then you have 3 home games to finish the season. Florida, Georgia State, and A&M. And if you win those 3 home games, you win the West, and Jaden's going to win the Heisman. Go JRB. Good morning. Kedrick D7, excuse me. Morning, Matt. Now that Denver Harris is inactive, how does the cornerback room look playing Alabama? So I don't think Denver is inactive for the season. He didn't play last night, but I don't know that it's like he's done. I mean, Brian Kelly is we've seen basically everything from Denver Harris this year, from starting to coming off the bench to dressing and not playing to not dressing. So, I mean, I know there is this infatuation with Denver Harris. I know he was inactive yesterday. But I get the infatuation with Denver Harris because he was a 5-star, but at some point you have to look at it and realize that kid is not a good player right now. Is he a good athlete? Sure. He is not a good player. It's not to say he can't be or won't be. Certainly everybody can improve, but he's not one of your 2 best. He's not one of your 4 best right now. So, I mean, if Zy Alexander's healthy, if Sage Ryan is kind of held down the other spot, you've got LaTerrence Welch there, who's played good in spots this year. I don't know. I mean, I get the infatuation because you get a 5-star like that coming in and you expect Derek Stingley or Patrick Peterson. He ain't that, bro. Everyone keeps asking about Denver Harris, and it's like a little kind of, if I say it's a little annoying, but I don't mean that in a negative term. I understand why you're asking, but it's like, why do we keep asking about Denver Harris? We've seen him out there. I mean, he got mossed by Grambling. He's not a good player right now. So, I don't know. Jesse Brown, how much trouble is Harbaugh in at Michigan? Nah. Well, they're suspended for the first 3 games of the year next year against non-conference opponents that they'll blow out. Cortland Jacob, Dustin Fontenot. Can they not do the white on white with gold helmets ever again, please? I'm with you on that, Dustin. That looked awful. It looked like Missouri. It was terrible. I mean, I'm trying not to do the there we go. I mean, I'm trying to not do the old, fuddy-duddy curmudgeon thing. I mean, I know they do alternate uniforms whenever they play the non-conference games aside from the opener or a Power 5 team. So, yeah, they'll likely wear something different as well when they play Georgia State later in the season. But, all this stuff, I mean, the painting the end zones and the alternate uniforms, and whatever. I mean, if people enjoyed it, great. I'm indifferent to it all. I wish they wouldn't change the uniform, but it's what it is. Jesse Brown, Robert Collins, good morning. Thanks for keeping us in the know. You got it, bro. Dalton, good morning. This is the 2nd week in a row I've seen T-Bob or Matt sing on one of their shows. The people deserve a duet. We were singing Jack Black last night. Cortland Jacob, Wacky Chris, Chris P, good morning. Said hi, Drew. Drew's over there in the other room. He'll probably make his way eventually. Kobe Isabel, Penix had 2 picks last night. He was 2 early picks. They needed a defensive touchdown to take the lead in that game. I stayed up and watched it. I don't know if y'all saw, but Arizona State was leading Washington in the 4th quarter. Washington had 3 field goals. I think it was 12-9 maybe. And Arizona State was driving around the Washington 12 or so, 20 or something like that. And Arizona State threw a pick six, like a 90-yard pick six. Anyway. NVC, there has never been a year where I was more clueless on what might happen in the Bama LSU game. I feel like it could go a million ways. Mike the Tiger, at least we're not Florida. Today will be a great Sunday because the Saints can't lose. Jason H, good morning. Thanks for keeping me company on my hour drive into the city to go play golf. Okay, Jason. All right, man. We're here, brother. We're here. Taz, good morning. What's going on with Olave? Heard Ross Jackson say all the finger pointing the players were doing last week about the effort was about Olave. Yeah, I mean, Olave talked about it after the game. About how he was giving up on routes and all that sort of stuff. But the other point is the one that everyone's pointing at about the crossing route on Thursday. Michael Thomas even went on Twitter and talked about this and was like, basically Olave wasn't even in the progression. So he gave up on the route, but the ball should have never gone to him. Thomas even said like the progression was 7, 22, 13. So, Taysom Hill, Rashid Shaheed, Michael Thomas, that was the progression on that route. And Olave wasn't even in the route. So, and he threw him the ball. But, I guess you always have to have your head up. But maybe the bigger concern is Michael Thomas is going on Twitter basically blasting Derek Carr. Taz, is Daniels a top 10 pick? Taz, maybe. I mean, he keeps playing this way for another month. He's got the mobility, that's undeniable. He's shown the willingness and ability to be a student of the game. He's a great locker room guy, great teammate guy. And we know the athleticism is there, and the accuracy throwing the ball is what kind of needed the improvement, and we've certainly seen that this year. So maybe. And a lot of things happen when you go through the draft process, right? Like, there's always guys who you're not thinking of, but then they go through the draft process, they start rising up boards. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky was one of those. Josh Allen was one of those. Nobody was talking about Josh Allen at Wyoming as a first-round pick, and then he went to the Senior Bowl and blew up at the Senior Bowl, got on everybody's radar, and then he ended up as a first-rounder. So, could Jaden do that? Absolutely. I mean, I don't pretend to be an NFL scout to know like what specifically they're looking at, but I mean, he would certainly appear to have all the things you want: size, mobility, arm strength, accuracy, smarts, teammate, all that stuff. B. Lorky, Whiskey and Wine was the perfect listen to bring me home from Death Valley to Lafayette. Ransom Antoine, morning, Matt. Our only hope for Louisiana football is LSU winning out and making the playoffs. Justin Credible, good morning. Austin Kidder, Tim Gotro, Trivia Carter, good morning. Just got in the boot heading to Thibodeau. All right, Trivia, if you see Dwayne from Thibodeau, make sure you punch him in the face and get my money for me. D. Granger, how will replace Zai if he can't go? Yeah, probably LaTerrence Welch. That's what I would guess is you go Welch and Sage Ryan. Tim Gocho, nothing like a 67-yard touchdown run with 40 seconds left to save the overbet. Oh, what was the total? Was the total 60 or 61? Oh, my goodness. I didn't even think about that. I was thinking, because the spread was 32 or whatever it was, somewhere 30, 31, 32, wherever you got it. So LSU covered that easy. I didn't even think about the total. Let's see. Cortland, Texas averages 35, LSU averages 45. Myron, good morning, Matt. Do you think the Tennessee quarterback is a good pick in the second round? Man, Stafford. Sorry, I'm watching Game Day or Countdown. It's like, name that quarterback. It's a picture of him as a kid. It was Stafford. But anyway, Myron, look, Joe Milton can throw the ball 90 yards, right? He's got a huge arm. And he was really tough yesterday running the ball. But if you've watched Tennessee this year, man, he don't really make that thing go, man. Hendon Hooker was special last year. I don't know, Myron. I mean, I don't know. I don't pretend to be a scout to know what teams are thinking where they would take a player. To go in round two, you'd have to have a quarterback needy team that's willing to pull the trigger on a guy in that round based on what their needs are. I mean, that's always the tricky part about the draft. Like, could someone have a second round grade on him? Absolutely. But is a team that needs a quarterback picking in round two at a spot where it makes sense? Because let's say hypothetically, Myron, a team's picking in the middle of round 2, and there's a player available that they have a late first, early second round grade on. So they have a lineman there that they have graded as the 33rd best player in the draft, and you're picking 45th. Well, and let's say they have Milton graded 60th, so a late 2. Well, why would you take the guy when you feel like you're getting great value with this guy that you have graded as a late 1, early 2? You know what I mean? So that's some of the situations that arise during the draft. So could he be on people's boards as a second round pick? Sure. Does that mean he's going to be drafted in the second round? Not necessarily. Lando Cal Risk CEN. Good morning, Matt. Glad we won. Didn't think we would obliterate the Army like that. LOL. I thought we'd give them a little respect. Guy Brooks, good morning, Matt and family. I hope you all have an awesome Sunday. Thank you, Guy. Same to you. Austin Kidder, good morning. Missed most the action yesterday because Emily and I finally found a babysitter. Went our first date night in over 2 years. Thanks for the Sunday morning update as always. Yeah, man. So game was pretty much a breeze. LSU scored on its opening possession. It took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays, 75 yards. LSU was up 7-0. The second drive of the game, LSU went 3 and out. Jaden missed a couple open receivers, but that was a brief hiccup. They were right back at it on the next drive. 2 plays, 86-yard touchdown bomb to Brian Thomas on a play where Jaden was pressured and rolled to his right, just glided, just flicked it, dropped it in the bucket to Brian Thomas, 86 yards. Andre Sam had 2 interceptions in the game. You had 2 injuries on the night. We mentioned Zy Alexander, the interception on the last play of the first half when he was trying to return it and got tackled awkwardly. And then Marlon Martinez got hurt on LSU's second to last drive of the game. The drive where Noah Kane scored and when LSU went up 55-0. So aside from that, you came out of it healthy and you got some guys rest and a lot of guys experience. The second offensive line. So the first teamers played the first series of the second half, except for Jaden. Us played the whole second half. The second offensive line, the second offense went in on the second drive of the third quarter. And your second offensive line from left to right was Bo Bordelon at left tackle, Kimo Macaneoli at left guard, DJ Chester at center, Marlon Martinez at right guard, and Lance Hurd stayed in at right tackle. Lance Hurd played the entire game. Your wide receivers were Kyron Lacey, Chris Hilton, Aaron Anderson, and then your second tight end was Mac Markway. So got 5 running backs work. So good to see. I'm sorry, you got 6 running backs work. You got Diggs, Caleb Jackson, Josh Williams, John Emery, Noah Kane, Trey Holly. Yeah, Bradford. And who am I missing? Didn't see Bradford last night. Who am I missing? I thought there were 8. I thought I'm missing somebody. Am I missing somebody? No. Barry Day, how would you handle Saints coaching staff fire who replacements? Yes, I would absolutely replace the coaching staff. And I would completely clean house, not just the coaching staff, front office. I would completely start over. As far as who would I replace him with, last year I was very high, or when they replaced Sean Payton, I was very high on Eric Bieniemy, who's the OC now in Washington. Candidly, I haven't followed tremendously Washington to see how that's going. But I can start putting a list together and who would be an interesting candidate. I would want an offensive-minded head coach, and I would probably try to go the route that so many are going with OCs and systems that are working to see who's ready to take that next step. If like a Mike McDaniel did, look at Shanahan in San Francisco, or McVay with the Rams, Nick Sirianni. I mean, just a pretty obvious blueprint that a lot of teams that are really successful are following. Lance Richard, Samuel Merrifield, Matt, are you like me and just wish the Saints can blow it all up and start over again? Yes. Christopher Murray, good win last night, solid win. Jean-Philippe Champagne, posted about it already, but LSU has only had a D-line coach, defensive consultant for the last 2 weeks. He's one of the best they ever coached football in almost 50 years. Since then, we've allowed 18 points. Were they playing great teams? No, but it shows improvement. Remember, he was there, Coach Pete was there for the Missouri game as well. So Missouri, Auburn, and Army. So he's been there for 3 weeks now. And the first half against Missouri was not good. The second half against Missouri, they started getting stops. But I really think the biggest improvement, obviously, were 2 subtle changes. Maybe significant changes, but one was going to a 4-3 because that features your defensive line, and you've noticed that. And going to a 4-3 also allowed Harold Perkins to set up as the nickel Sam. So, Samuel Merrifield, the Army uniforms were nice. Douglas Duhan, what's the deal with the DB's availability? I didn't see Terrence Welch or Denver Harris play at all last night. Well, keep in mind also last night was a game where Army wasn't going to throw the ball much. So, you weren't going to need a lot of guys. I'll make some calls today and see what I can find out. Samuel Merrifield with Gabriel and Penix. The NFL will have the most lefties in history if they make it. Christopher Murray, what time slot will LSU Bama be in? Yeah, it's going to be the night game on CBS. I know I've heard some people speculate on that, but remember, like, it's not, you don't speculate on the night game on CBS. So the CBS has to announce before the season starts which weekend it wants its doubleheaders. So they don't announce the game at the time, but you can sort of draw the conclusion. So they have the day-night or the 11 a.m. 2:30 doubleheaders, right? And then they have the day-night, the 2:30, 7 o'clock doubleheaders. So this was May 30th. So this is May 30th when they had to announced their doubleheader. So September the 16th, they debut. Let's see, so the SEC football doubleheaders October 14th and November the 4th. That's when they announced their doubleheader. So October the 14th was the 11 a.m. and 2:30 doubleheader, and November the 4th is the 2:30 and 7 o'clock doubleheader. So if you look at the SEC schedule, you can draw that conclusion to see what game is going to be the day-night doubleheader, right? So on November the 4th, LSU Bama is obviously going to be the night game. Then you've got Arkansas at Florida, Missouri at Georgia, Texas A&M at Ole Miss, which will probably be the 2:30 game. Kentucky at Mississippi State, Jacksonville State, South Carolina, UConn at Tennessee, and Auburn at Vandy. So you could look at that and go, okay, well, CBS has already designated their night game for November the 4th. Well, which game on that slate is going to be the night game? Well, it's going to be LSU Bama. So we knew in May that LSU Bama was going to be the night game. The only question is on that slate, what is the 2:30? And it's probably Texas A&M at Ole Miss is probably what it'll be. So yeah, I know we talk about that every year, and not everybody remembers that, but and it won't matter next year because CBS doesn't have the contract next year. ABC does. This is the last year of the SEC on CBS. All right, smash the like button. 243 watching live. I love it. Please take a quick second, smash that like button, subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Scone page, share the post. Brought to you by Brock and Hudco. You need an orthopedist, Brock is the best. Need a roof, give a shout Hudco. I got the Hudco fortified link pinned there. Monday of this past week, State of Louisiana opened up its second round of grants for fortified roofs, up to $10,000 for Louisiana homeowners for a fortified roof. If you're interested, click the link, fill out the form. We'd love to help you. And like literally right now, I have the guys from Got Lit on my roof. So they were here at 7:45 a.m. GotLitLights.com. Let them take care of. Let them. I thought I just heard a scream. No, you're all good. Okay. Whew. So my roof has a pretty steep pitch. And I thought I heard a scream, and I was like, oh God, please don't tell me, like, as I'm talking about God, let somebody fell. They did not fall, thankfully. But think about it. I'll tell you this much. There is no, like, literally a 0.0% chance that I ever get up on my roof to put up lights. But we're going to have awesome Christmas lights because Got Lit's doing it. GotLitLights.com. I just posted Got Lit, so click the link for free. They give you a free estimate, or free quote, I guess is what I would say. A free quote. Take a look at your house and see, what you want to spend and what they can do. Erica's going to be so happy. Oh, she loves Christmas. I refuse to do Christmas lights. The only thing I ever do are the little star showers. The things like it just projects like a display onto the house. So like I literally just put the star showers, just run an extension cord, put 2 star showers, and it just shoots onto the house. She's going to have full-on Christmas lights this year, thanks to Got Lit. Kenneth Westbrook, Chris Anthony, Kevin Williams. Kamara did hit the... Kevin, I brought that up. Kamara did hit the over on his yardage the other night. Vernell Thomas, good morning. Saints need to go heavily after Jaden Daniels. Yeah, maybe Vernell, but I mean, the thing is, if Jaden is... keeps rising as a top 10 pick. I mean, are you trading up to take quarterback, or do you just sit where you are and see value elsewhere? I would love it. It'd be great. I just want to see the Saints take a quarterback. If it's Jaden, awesome. I just want to take a quarterback. Like, I'm not married to the idea of, well, they got to take the LSU guy. Kelly Groves, hey, Dad, good morning. Tony Williams, Rick Manuel, good morning. Where are we? Celebrate our 28th anniversary. My wife's 40-year class reunion, and LSU dominated. All right, Rick, that's a great weekend, man. Happy anniversary to you and the missus. Derek, Armani Goodwin. Thank you, Derek. I knew there was someone else I was missing. Armani Goodwin, thanks. Blake Morgan, what were Nussmeier's stats? He was 7 of 12. Hang on, I'll look it up right now. I'm getting to it. Let's see, Nussmeier, 7 of 12 for 90 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, QBR of 78. So I had the big touchdown pass to start the second half on to the deep ball to Neighbors, the 51-yarder to Neighbors to start the second half. So then mostly was just handing the ball off from there. But look good. Forrest Wilkinson, am I the only one who thought LSU went a little overboard honoring Army? Funny to see them whip them 62-0 after all the celebration. Forrest, look, man, I'm with you. I didn't think it was necessary to paint the end zones, and I think the paratroopers, I always think that flyovers, paratroopers. I always think that's cool. Singing the alma mater at the end of the game, and maybe whatever. I probably agree with you, Forrest, but I also don't think it's a big deal. Like, it's not worth complaining over or anything. They did it. In doing so, it didn't hurt anybody or anything. And you try to honor, the cadets of United States Military Academy, and that's a cool thing to do. So, whatever. If you like it, you loved it. I tell you last night, so y'all see Dane Bergeron, who pops on here a lot. Dane Dane came in last night to Don Juan, went to the game with an Army buddy, and then came to the game, and and then came to Don Juan, and we were talking about it after, and he loved it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm sure there were tons of men and women who served in the Army who were LSU fans who went to the game last night and thought that was really cool. And so, yeah, okay. I mean, doing all of that stuff didn't hurt anybody. Did it really hit home with me as much? Not really. I didn't serve. Some people I'm sure loved it, which is cool. Like I got no complaints on that. So I think the intent was in a great place, and they executed a lot of really cool stuff. And the governor who went to West Point did the coin toss. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff. Ira Fields, good morning. Saints won't lose today. Clifford Moore, Tony Williams, Scone is awesome. Thank you, Tony. You know something? You're awesome, Tony Williams. Thank you. Rick Kelly, was that a ghost? It wasn't a ghost. I thought, yeah, that's when he fell. That's what I thought I heard like a scream, like, ah. I was like, but no, everybody's good. Everybody's good. Guy Brooks, good morning. Lewaski Watkins, good morning. JD5 for Heisman. Bama, hate 2 week starts today. Low tide. Cortland, let's see. Daly was all of Army's offense. When he didn't start, Army was in trouble. That's true. So Bryson Daly's their quarterback, who was their leading rusher and leading passer, who got injured last week against Troy. So they started the freshman who didn't have such a great first half. 3 turnovers, a couple picks and a fumble, and then they went to the backup in the second half and didn't really do much better. But let's be honest, man, that game was less about what Army could do on the field and more about LSU executing and staying healthy and getting a win and getting guys some rest, and that's really what yesterday was about. Jackson Carney, why was Brian Kelly asked about the NFL a few days ago? It was very odd timing and felt almost like a question he wanted asked for recruiting purposes or something. I didn't hear him asked about the NFL. Was that Thursday? What did they ask? Like about if he wanted to go to the NFL? I don't know. Brad David, do people really email Gordy about you cussing on whiskey and wine? Yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely. MP, yes. From the beginning of that show, Gordy will get emails from people who are offended by the content or whatever, and he'll send them to me, but I just don't care. I've said this over and over again. You know what? I've taken a page out of the Charles Barkley playbook. There is nobody that says more cancelable things than Charles Barkley. And you know why he's never canceled? Because he doesn't care what you think. Like people who, like the cancel culture people, spout off and target people they want canceled because they think they're going to actually be able to get it done. And when, oh, that was great. You got Moss. Amari Cooper. And when they don't get the result they want, they just move on to the next thing. That's the thing with Barkley. Barkley forever has said whatever he wants, and he just don't care what you think. And so he's going to keep saying whatever he wants. And so the people that want him canceled know they're not going to succeed, so they move on to something else and direct their anger there. Same thing with this. It's like, you can be mad that we curse. You could be upset. You may not like it. I don't care if you like it or not. It's like buying a ticket, watching Whiskey and Wine and being offended by the content is like buying a ticket to an R-rated movie and being offended that there's adult content. You bought a ticket to an R-rated movie. We tell you what the show is. There are no false pretenses. I mean, it says NSFW, language. We are very open with what the show is. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It's okay. Like, I'm not upset at all if you don't watch it. Like, but everybody does. I mean, it's incredible. Everybody watches the show. I mean, I can barely go anywhere without people after a game or without people bringing up Whiskey and Wine. Everybody watches the show. So, anyway. So I don't care about the people that email. And they're like, I can't believe he said, well, then don't watch. MP, good morning, Matt. Who does the defense put on Burton with Alexander out if it was going to be him? Seems to be really, really physical receiver. Probably Sage Ryan. I guess they play a lot of zone, though. Barry Jocelyn, what up? T-Pop off the rails last night. He was. John Dew said, if LSU doesn't have a dual threat quarterback next year, how does the offense look? Well, I don't know that it's dramatically different. I mean, Jaden's ability to make big plays with his feet is certainly an element that you would lose, but that's not to say that Nussmeier can't run the ball and make plays with his feet. Ethan Lowe, LSU has Thunder and Lightning, your running back next year with Jackson and Holly. Cortland, Jaden will have potentially 4 showcase games if LSU wins and wins the West. Travis Michel, Lando, Trivia, poor Kirk, that's how the Army do, shows up but does nothing. I don't know where Kirk is, Trivia. You're throwing shots across the bow, my guy's not even here. Yeah. I need to tell lunch. So last night on Whiskey Wine, we had the Got Lit link pinned in the chat, and it was misspelled. There was no L for lit, so it was GOTIT. Anyway, yeah, so the future, we don't want to type that out. I'll have to tell. We don't want to type that out. We just like go to the web browser, go to the website, copy the URL link, and post the URL link in the chat. Anyway, Matt McGuire, morning. Crazy how we don't hear much from the Nuss Bus anymore. Yeah. Lars Corville. I kind of want to go back to the opener against Florida State and look at all the comments, or the preseason, look at all the Jaden comments and just like go do a freezing cold tweets on them all. That'd be fun. What happened to Dabo? And Clemson lost last night to Miami. Wow. I didn't even double overtime. Wow. Dabo good to his word. Yeah, maybe. What do you say? Maybe need to lose a few games. Lose some of these bandwagoners. Taz, will LSU replace our DC? If so, who would you like to see them hire? I say RC. Well, Taz, they're not going to hire RC. LSU wouldn't hire someone who's never done the job before. You don't, at a place like LSU, you don't take a risk like that. You just don't. Anyway, so no, they wouldn't hire RC. I think it's a thing where you identify the best defensive coordinators in the country, and they're doing a Jalen Hurts and Tua feature right now. Yeah, you got the Eagles and the Dolphins today, so Hurts against Tua. It's pretty cool. All right, Barry Johnson, look forward to see what Nuss can do with the starters for a game. He's got a great attitude for being so good, and QB2, great team player, encouraging JD5. Yeah, I mean, he's an outlier in the same sense that oh my gosh, I'm so far behind on the comments, man. There we go. Yeah, Nuss is an outlier in the same way that Brennan was an outlier, right? Staying in one place, not transferring. So you pull for that guy. I would also tell you, if you're LSU, you have to go get a quarterback in the portal as well this offseason. Because otherwise you're going into the season with Nuss, who has only played in a very limited role throughout his career, Ricky Collins, who redshirted this year, and then Colin Hurley, the true freshman coming in, early enrollee. So if you can go get somebody who's got experience, then you do it. 100% you do it. Let's see, make defense great again. More Matt Bama lives on the deep ball. Play over the top, force them to be patient, march it down the field. Our defense will do what it does, and we win the game. Palermo Trapani is Welch aligned. I don't think I saw him out there last night. Hughes, the freshman from Las Vegas, was out there. Looked like he knew what he was doing. Toviano, who played some nickel. Cortland Jacob, it's Hunt's fault. He keeps inventing a million reasons why Harris isn't playing and never suggests it's because he hasn't earned it. Has Hunt done that? I haven't heard Hunt. I haven't heard Hunt. NVC white helmets, purple jerseys are the best. Objectively, that's not true. If you're TCU, then white helmets and purple jerseys are great. But you're not TCU. Your color scheme is not purple and white. Your color scheme is purple and gold. So gold helmet, white jerseys, gold pants with purple numerals, purple logos on the helmets. That is objectively your best uniform combination. Would you take Harbaugh as the next Saints coach? Which Harbaugh? Migo Tez, can we assume Armani Goodwin is going to transfer out at this point? I don't know. I wouldn't assume anything with the transfer portal, but I wouldn't take anything off the table. Brett Guidry, class act by the team joining Army for their alma mater. Seems like this is a team of high character. Brett, that was determined before the game that both teams were going to sing both teams' alma mater. Joseph Baggert, Phil Stevens, Bubba Tatum, Alan Black, Lars Corville, Taz, good morning. Can a coach get fired because he can't beat one team? Penn State is 1-9 against Ohio State. Yeah, I mean, James Franklin has really struggled, as you saw yesterday, with all the stats, not just against Ohio State, but it's been against the top 10. He's got 3 top 10 wins in his entire team at Penn State. They're all at home. They've not won a top 10 road game ever in his time there. So that's a challenge when, as a program, your ambition is to get over the hump and to win a championship, and you can't get past those 2 teams in your division. That's a problem. Entrepreneur King 816, hello from Kansas City. Kedrick D7, what's going on? I'm not infuriated with Denver Harris, Matt. Oh, infatuated, sorry. I'm worried about depth at cornerback. None of them are good, to be honest. Yeah, it's not that, man. I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying that I get asked about Denver Harris all the time. And I just don't know why people keep asking about him, because he's not, I mean, I get why, because he was a former 5-star. So you came in, not you, collectively, people came in with this pretense that he was going to come in and be awesome. But he's not. Like, we've all seen it objectively. So, anyway. Ryan Slayton, what's up? Brett Guidry, it was cool seeing the team cheer Trey Holly after his touchdown. Seemed like the team has good chemistry. Hey, man, look, I'll tell you, Brett, I'm not saying they don't, but what I'm saying is when you win a game 62-0, it's good to have good chemistry. Barry Johnson, is there a chance LSU wins the SEC, doesn't get in the playoff? Let's see, Josh Plate hates the 12-team playoff. 12-team playoff would fix this. I don't know why Josh doesn't like a 12-team playoff. I've never heard his opinion on it. I'd like a 12-team playoff. I'd prefer a 16-team playoff. Like, let's actually go have an actual playoff to determine things on the field. As I say often, teams are allowed to improve. LSU's a great example of it this year. LSU's a team that played a real, so what's the fix? Would you rather LSU not play Florida State and play a layup game a body bag game. Instead of playing Florida State, you play Florida International, and you win that game, and so you don't take that L. So you could still, make it to the playoff? Or would you rather see LSU play Florida State as a fan? Like, as a fan of college football, would you rather see better games where, teams are going to lose some, but you're allowed to improve as the season goes along and hopefully playing your best ball in November and then get a chance to actually go play in a true playoff? And is there a chance LSU wins the SEC and doesn't make the playoff? If you here, the scenario would be if you had 4 undefeated Power 5 champions. So let's say Washington stays undefeated, Michigan or Ohio State stays undefeated, Oklahoma stays undefeated, and Florida State stays undefeated. If you have 4 Power 5 undefeated conference champions, then yes, then LSU would be left out. But if LSU, playing the schedule that they played, goes and wins in Tuscaloosa and beats Georgia in the SEC championship, then I think they're in. Merrick Mathern, thank God LSU's not Oregon with the different uniforms. Merrick, the thing I'll say about that is because Oregon doesn't have a traditional look, I'm okay with them changing their uniforms. That's their thing. But LSU has one of the most iconic brands in all of collegiate athletics with their white jerseys at home and the gold, white, gold. Like, you see that and you unmistakably know what they are, what that is, who LSU is. So I don't like straying from that when you have an iconic look. That's the point that I have made and will always make. And I don't think I'd ever change my mind on that. Entrepreneur King 816, what do you think of Kirk Cousins? Good NFL player. Jade's got to prove it against Bama, Florida, and A&M. Jake Grabbert, Matt, do you think LSU gets a New Year's 6th berth if they win the SEC championship? Well, if you win the SEC championship, you automatically get a New Year's 6th berth as the conference champion. The question is, could they make the playoff? And they'll need some help. Jason Mobio, keep waiting on Daniel's Heisman moment, but the throw to Thomas on the run was a dime. Well, the Heisman moment, Jason, typically comes in a big game, so you'll have that opportunity against Bama. Marcus Day-Cluitt, are Jackson Holly the most talented running backs on the roster? No, Logan Diggs is your best running back by a mile. Ability to run with power, agility, make you miss, catch the ball, block. I mean, Diggs is an NFL running back. He's your best guy. Barry Johnson, I want to see you versus Josh Plate in a debate about the 12-team playoff. I guess you mean Josh Pate. And I think Josh does a good job. I don't know him. I follow him on Twitter, so I see some of his stuff pop up. Seems like he does a good job. I mean, he's got a big following. But I've never heard his opinion on the playoff. Spurge, good morning. You got it. Steven, Jake, when he gets his chance, do you see Arch Manning being a success in college? Yeah. Look, physically he's got all the ability and seems like a young guy who's got a ton of ability, but matches it with the character, which is a good thing because he's going to work hard. The worst possible scenario for a super talented player like that is you let your talent do everything and you don't feel like you have to work to match it. But when you work to match the talent, that's when you can be really elite. That's what you're seeing with Jaden right now. Will Emory Jones be available for Bama? Hope so, Merrick. I mean, that's the hope. I mean, I can tell you that after he was injured, that's what I was told was he wasn't going to play, and they expected him to be back for Bama. So we'll see how he reacts to all the treatment, this coming week as well. So. Let's see, Scott said, Matt, don't know if you're a prediction guy, but what's your final score for LSU Bama? Ask me in 2 weeks. Just incredible as Alexander is undoubtedly our best corner. Hopefully he can heal in the upcoming days. Be ready for Bama. Meridoc Baraki, Courtney Abraham, what's going on? Danny Braywick. Has ESPN announced that their premier game will be 2:30? Or are they going to do what they want to say on the SEC now? my guess is like what they do with the Saturday night ABC game will be an SEC game. It'll be their primetime SEC game. Will be an ABC game. It's so funny. Early line predictions on Bama LSU game. Well, I'm sure the line's posted already. Let me see. Let's see. Um, looks, that can't be right. Was that last year? That can't be right. This can't be right. Bama 13.5. That can't be right. Wow. Is that right? Man, oh man. Bama 13.5. You know, that's a commentary on LSU's defense right there. Bama 13.5. Total of 56.5. Wow. If you can get it at 13.5, I'd jump on that, man. Wow. Bama 13.5. That don't sound right, man. Like, why would Tennessee be 8.5? And LSU would open at 13.5. It goes to show you they do not believe in LSU's defense whatsoever. Interesting. Let's see. Who's that? Palermo Trapani said, I saw Bama 5-7 last night as an early line. This is at Vegas Insider. And I mean, that's FanDuel 13.5, MGM 13. I mean, it's a consensus. Caesars, DraftKings, Bet Rivers, they all have it at 13.5. Wow. That's a little stunning. Man. Wow. That can't be right. Was that last year? That can't be right. Sorry, y'all. Just give me 1 second. Like, I'm trying to find. Sorry, y'all. I don't mean to just be sitting here Googling, but I must have been on the wrong page. It had to be last year. DraftKings, they have futures. College football futures. Why wouldn't they have a line posted already? The only games DraftKings has up right now that I see are the games for Tuesday. That's not right. Thursday. Oh, so they've got for next Saturday. They got Oklahoma, Kansas, and they got Georgia, Florida up. They don't have the games up for 2 weeks from now. Maybe that's why. That DraftKings doesn't have a line right now. As I'm looking at right here on desktop, maybe on mobile they do, but anyway. Anyway. All right. Let's see. Kirk Taylor, good morning. Rick Kelly, good morning. Sorry, y'all. I'm just getting back over here to Facebook. Apologies. Brandon Brazel, good morning from Memphis. All right. Mark, what's up, man? Good morning. Will John Emery make an NFL roster in the spring? Yeah, John Emery will get a shot. He'll get a shot for sure. Yeah, okay. Bubba said he was looking at Bovada. They don't have a game list for 2 weeks out. I'm curious. I mean, I thought the line. T-Bob asked me last night. And he said he thought it would be like 2 or 3. It won't be that short of a line. I thought it would be closer to what the Tennessee line was. 8 or 9, somewhere around there. 7.5, 8, something like that. We'll see. We'll see what it is. LSU 55, Bama 10. That'll be a reverse of 2020. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. Alabama's defense can't stop the LSU offense. Alabama's offense won't be able to keep up. 41-31. Would love to see it. Justin DeFave, 21 edits. We're beating Bama. I don't know about Georgia. Let's see. Bubba Tatum was looking on Bovada. Oh, sorry. ESPN Analytics gives LSU a 38% chance to win. Shane, Michael, what are we reading into the -6? Are they begging folks to bet Bama or LSU with that line? So you saw 6. I just Googled. I didn't see a line post anywhere, but if it's 6, Vegas doesn't want heavy action on one side. They move the line to induce equal action on both sides, so they don't have a liability and they make their money on the juice. So they don't want heavy action on one side because that leaves them a huge liability. So if 6 feels right, that's probably what you're thinking. Like, do you think Bama wins by a touchdown, or does LSU keep it close, maybe win the game? Like, that's really what they're trying to induce there. Let's see. Cold Case, the national media needs to not ever compare Washington to 2019 LSU again. That's a great point, Cold Case. I kind of want to go like, did Aaron Murray do that? Wasn't it Aaron Murray who did that this week? I think I want to go dig that up and laugh at them all now. Ben Thompson says FanDuel has LSU 5, I guess plus 5.5. That feels more likely. Certainly. Let's see if LSU goes to New Year's 6. Which one would you like to see them in? I want the Orange Bowl. So, Barry, it's not that cut and dried. You'd have to look at... can y'all hear that? Drew has this little toy. It's a little dog the dog has like big butt cheeks, and it plays Baby Got Back. And when it puts it plays Baby Got Back, and the butt cheeks shake. It's crazy. So here you go. Your semifinals this year are the Rose and the Sugar. So if LSU makes the New Year's Six, but does not make the playoff, they would go to either the Peach, Orange, or Fiesta. Um, by virtue of their tie-ins with the SEC, if let's say hypothetically the ACC, let's say Florida State wins the ACC and makes the playoff, the ACC's tie-in with the Orange Bowl would be vacated, and then the SEC could fill that. So LSU would go orange there. There's also the scenario like what happened in 2018 where the Fiesta Bowl's tie-ins were vacated, but LSU earned a New Year's Six and went to the Fiesta Bowl. So that's also a possibility. But yes, if let's say if LSU wins the SEC, so hypothetically, LSU wins the SEC but doesn't make the playoff. By view of this, I think LSU would go to the Orange Bowl if the ACC champion is in the playoff. If LSU does not win the SEC, let's say LSU loses to Bama, then wins out, goes 9-3, but gets one of the New Year's Six slots like they did in 2018, you could see a situation where they end up back in the Fiesta or Peach more likely because of proximity. Peach probably against like the G5 representative. Shane Big Fella, what's up? David Bass, good morning. We might be just about done, y'all. Paul Landry, good morning from the beautiful mountains of East Tennessee. Lars Corville, Trivia Carter. What's the word on fall ball? I'm not sure, Trivia. I'm not paying attention to fall ball, bro. Ryan Caldwell, never forget, Coach O only wanted Diggs as a linebacker. They got in on Diggs. Actually, they got in on Diggs late. Diggs came to camp here and wanted an LSU offer. He didn't get it, committed to Notre Dame. Then during his senior year, they kept scouting him and kind of realized, he could play. Despite there were people on staff that were pushing LSU to offer Logan Diggs. It didn't. Committed to Notre Dame, and then they tried to circle back, and at that point, it was too late. Spectrum, I still don't have much confidence in this defense. Well, you get a very different challenge 2 weeks in Tuscaloosa. All right. Paul Andrew, how confident are you our defensive line can dominate Bama's O-line? I'm not, Paul. I think it's a good matchup, but Bama's offensive line is really good. And the interesting thing about Bama is, if you watch that game yesterday, is Bama has found a running game, and it's not a running game because of Jalen Milroe. If you look at look at their Alabama yesterday against Tennessee. Ran 42 times for 138 yards. Jace McClellan, 27 for 115. Roydale Williams, 6 for 20. Jalen Milroe, 9 rushes, 3 yards. It's not like their rushing yardage is because Milroe is improvising and making plays. Milroe has been better through the air. He was 14 of 21 for 220 with 2 touchdowns and a pick yesterday. The pick was a terrible one in the end zone when they were going to get points and make it a game. But Milroe isn't like just the runner anymore. They've had McClellan and Roydell step up and really establish a running game. So it's going to be a big challenge for LSU's interior defensive line. Big challenge. Glenn Crowdis, how certain are we Ole Miss will lose another game? Because I do believe LSU will win out. Yeah, look, Ole Miss was on the ropes yesterday against Auburn. I really thought Auburn was going to win that game. Ole Miss has to go to Athens. So I believe Ole Miss will lose at Georgia. They've got the Egg Bowl as well, which Mississippi State is not very good this year. But so Ole Miss plays Vandy this week. Then they play Texas A&M at home, at Georgia, ULM, at Mississippi State. So, I mean, I certainly think they lose at Georgia. And, I mean, they could lose to A&M. Egg Bowl is always funny, but anyway. Oh, God. Gulf South. It's simple why the Nuss bus has been hush. Jaden has been playing great this season, so no need to call for Nuss. He grew a lot. He goes through his progression, so it's deep and only runs when needed. That's such a lame comment. For a guy that accounted for 70% of your offense last year. You refuse to acknowledge that LSU was what it was last year because of Jaden. Has he improved? Yes, of course he has. But thinking you would have had any better option last year was stupid. Washington almost got clipped by ASU last night. I stayed up and watched it. Star Hill Stoners HUD coach Jingle. You know what? Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. I don't know why that button's not working on my... Here we go.
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone, Ontario.
All you need is HUD.
Call HUD Roofing.
364.
1007.
HUDCO Roofing. HUDCORoofing.com. Ready. Mark Bayard, good morning from Tampa. Caleb Vines, Matt, what do you think of our plan of attack on defense facing Bama? I think you probably play a lot of zone in your secondary to prevent the deep ball. You try to tackle well. I think you hope that your defensive line beats their offensive line and limits the run game. We'll see. Really what I hope is LSU goes and scores like 45. That would be really good. Let's see. Trying to get back to my spot. Sorry, y'all. Jason H. Damn the Causeway Bridge. Christian updated stats for Jaden. Now leads the country in every quarterback metric except rushing yards. He's 7th there. He's not leading in total passing yards. Penix has him by 3 yards. But then again, Penix also has had an open date, so he's got one less game. Justin DeFay, let's see. Jaden Daniels is winning the Heisman. Got to win out. If LSU wins out, I think Jaden will win the Heisman. I'll say that. I don't know that I believe LSU is going to win out. Texas people saying Ewers broke his collarbone last night. That's a bummer. Jerry DeLucky, what up? Thankful for the late Sunday morning scone. Yeah, man. Where you been, Jerry? We've been here for an hour and 20 minutes already, man. Jerry was with us last night at Down Wine Cigar Bar. A lot of y'all saying FanDuel showing Bama 5.5. That feels more likely. Cliff Nelson, morning Scone. How do you see our O-line handling the crowd noise pressure at Bryant Dennehy Stadium? I don't know, man. I mean, you know, usually a pretty good crowd there at Brian Dennehy. So be loud. You have to go silent counts probably when you're there at Brian Dennehy Stadium. Danny Braywick, DraftKings doesn't have one listed that I searched for. ESPN app usually shows a line, doesn't for the game. Probably just for 2 weeks out. Bama throws more LSU DBs PI all night, but go Tigers. Brett to grow, any possibility for the Cotton Bowl? Always enjoy going to Big D. Yeah. I mean, you could end up in any of the 3 New Year's Six. There are scenarios where you could end up in any of the 3 New Year's Six games outside of the playoff if you don't make the playoff. Like, let's say you lose to Bama, you beat Florida, Georgia State, and A&M, you go 9-3. You could have a scenario like you did in 2018 when LSU went to the Fiesta Bowl. You could. I'm not saying it's likely, but you could. There's a lot of factors that would weigh in. Den 1. Peach Bowl against Tulane. Sure. Strong side. What's up, Danny Alvarez? Drew Alvarez, excuse me. Any NFL bets you're liking today? I always tell you, listen to Football Sunday, Jimmy Ott. I'll tell you, hang on one second, because I did look at, hang on, just once, give me 1 second. A little more than 1 literal second. Group 8, want to do Ask Me Rock? All right, so here we go. So Jimmy Ott does, I'll tell you what I'll do. Hang on 1 second, y'all. I will do, here we go. I'm going to post the link for Jimmy Ott Sports Better's Paradise on YouTube. So Jimmy, this is a podcast that Jimmy does, and they post videos several times a week, and they'll have like best bets and stuff like that. So anyway, Randy McKay, who's the most consistently best NFL guy that Jimmy has. They're all really good, but Randy McKay is consistently the best. Like even a couple weeks ago where everybody lost, it was a bloodbath. Randy McKay went 2-1. Randy's got Pittsburgh +3 and Green Bay -1.5. And then, these are ones I played. So I played Pittsburgh +3, Green Bay -1.5. Brady Cannon had the Lions +3, and then he had 2 teasers. The Colts in Seattle and Miami, San Francisco. For those that don't know what a teaser is it's a parlay. It's basically an alternate spread parlay where you give 6 points. So like, you would look at the line, like for example, the Colts. If the Colts are +3, you would tease it to +9 and link it up with Seattle. Have Seattle -3 with the teaser. So you'd give 6 additional points to make it more likely you win the bet, right? And then you link it up on a parlay. So he's got Colts, Seahawks, and then with a teaser, and then Miami and San Francisco on a teaser. So that's Brady Cannon's bets. So then at 11:20 on Jimmy's show, Andy Isco and Paul Nolan will give their 2 best bets live. So I'll listen to those and I'll play those for you as well. So I have Pittsburgh +3, Green Bay +1, the Lions +3, a Colts Seahawks teaser, and a Miami San Francisco teaser. And then I'll see what Andy and Paul give. Barry Johnson, seen them in the peach and the Fiesta. I went the orange or the cotton. Betting against the Saints is likely a winner. Saints don't play today, thankfully. I don't have to watch them lose. All right. Pierce Doogie, can we get someone to replace T-Bob? Working on it every day, Pierce. Every day I work hard to try to get T-Bob out of there. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm combing through resumes and air checks and working on it. I went 60 up there, donkey. All right, I think we're done. I think we're done. We're going to bounce. Okay. Thanks so much for watching, as always. Shout out to Got Lit. The guys from Got Lit were at our house this morning at 7:45 a.m. They've been out there for almost 3 hours already doing our Christmas lights. So gotlitlights.com, gotlitlights.com. They'll give you a free quote, what it would cost. Just let them know what you want to do. And they do everything. They bring the light. I've done nothing. Erica was here, met with Derek. They kind of went over what they were going to do. They show up, they bring the lights, they put them up, do everything. When the Christmas season's over, they'll come back, take everything down, haul them away. It's that easy. Gotlitlights.com. You have beautiful lights, best home in the block, and doing none of the work? Gotlitlights.com. Gotlitlights.com. It'd be actually, it would be funny if someone did this right now. This would actually be really cool because they're here now, and Derek's here now. I wonder if you could, if someone's interested, if you would call, like, it'd be so funny if you called right now. They have 2 phone numbers, Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. So 225-763-1001, 763-1001, 763-1001, or 225-491-7112, 491-7112. I don't know. I think Derek is 763-1001. Call that one. I would love it if someone would call right now. That would be hilarious if, like, they're here. Like, yeah, I heard Scone downstairs talking about well, not downstairs. We will have a single-story house, but they're on the roof right now. They're, like, literally on the roof right now. 763-1001 or gotlitlights.com. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Enjoy the NFL Sunday. Hope we have a winning day. Looking forward to it. And thanks for being here, y'all. Appreciate y'all. All the best. Have a great day. Peace. Go Tigers. Go Tigers.